name is Larry Bowles, and I work for Amazon Web Services, and I manage our U.S. distributors for public sector. I've been in the industry for almost 30 years now, information technology. I'm an engineer and architect by training. Started doing business management, I guess, about 15 years ago. So we are at the Ingram Micro Global Cloud and Innovation Summit. It's my first time here. I'm sad that I missed last year on South Beach. But I took on a new role, and Ingram Micro is part of my portfolio now. So this is my first time here. It's been a great conference so far. Day one, the general sessions this morning, the keynotes with your chief digital officer, your CEO. It was great to hear from cloud leaders in the industry as well. AWS distribution, well, AWS alone has only been around since 2006, right? So the Amazon Partner Network is just turned 10 years old last year, and Ingram Micro has been one of our critical distributors and partners before we even had a distribution program at AWS. The public sector program didn't launch until over 5 years ago here, and then Ingram Micro has really expanded their public sector capability over the past 2 years to include abroad, outside the United States. I think the biggest challenges we're seeing and hearing from our partners right now is around profitability. The current macroeconomic climate, the situation, we still have customers that are moving to the AWS cloud, but they have a real heavy focus for the ones that are in the AWS cloud now around cost optimization. How do we walk the cloud cake, as we call it, the infrastructure as a service to platform as a service to software as a service, in order to further reduce the capital or further reduce the operational expense and the monthly recurring revenue bills that they get from their cloud service providers. So partners are asking us, how do we do more capabilities around cost optimization, and how do we use our distributors to teach us about AWS programs, capabilities, competencies, and to get the training and certification to have that market differentiation to work with those customers to do the cost optimization. About a year ago, we launched a program called Accelerated Development, which is basically partner development as a service framework. So we trained our distributors, Ingram Micro specifically, and how to take a partner through a 9-month journey, whether they're a software partner or a services path partner in AWS terms. Take them through that 9-month journey with defined milestones in order to build their cloud practices or build their cloud businesses. So that could be resell, that could be differentiators and superpowers, whether it's software development, deployment in the marketplace, or it could be services, migrations of customer workloads into the AWS cloud. So that's what we've really been focused on in distribution the past year, is helping our partners build their businesses, but also helping AWS expand our partner channel capability through our distributors and the experience and the accolades they have in the industry. So we are definitely in the right space. So public sector, the financial models aren't like commercial, where in the commercial world, it's about staying in the black, it's about profitability. In the public sector, it's about the citizenry. It's about the financial models are annual, especially like in the federal government or in the state and local governments. It's about driving those value-based outcomes for the citizen, whether that's healthcare, whether that's financial technology with the IRS and those capabilities, or it could be something like, the military or the intelligence community protecting our interests abroad. So we have this program called the Migration Acceleration Program, and it usually requires a partner to have the migration competency. So what we did a couple of years ago is we created a glide path framework for our distributors to have MAP, as we call it, MAP for distribution. And what that allows our partners to do is to leverage Ingram Micro, who recently got their migration competency back in January of this year, and they get access to a program which has various incentives for partners depending on qualifying opportunities. Migrations. So if a customer has a migration and it's going to be X amount per year and it qualifies for annual recurring revenue of consumption of the cloud, that partner can work with Ingram Micro to do the assessment, to do the mobilized planning phase of the migration, rack and stacking the application, what is cloud ready, what is not cloud ready, what will never be cloud ready, so they can either replace or build net new in the cloud. So last year, we actually expanded the MAP program because our customers we were limited to only opportunities that were more than $500,000 a year of consumption, annual recurring revenue, which is basically what the utility that the customer would use, which didn't leave a lot of room for emerging markets like Latin America or Europe, who have pretty good size migration opportunities, but they don't meet that $500,000 a year threshold. So we did roll out something called Map Lite, which is that sweet spot between 250K ARR and 500K ARR. So we gave our customers, we heard our customers, and at Amazon, we are always customer obsessed. We heard it, we created a solution for it, and we actually have a lot of those customers now moving into the AWS cloud to provide more innovative capabilities for their citizens. So Ingram Micro is a very well-experienced distributor. I mean, they've been around for a long time. As you heard in the keynote this morning from the CEO, they've done a lot of work, whether it was from hardware, software, subscriptions, consumptive models, as he mentioned on stage this morning, is something that we are having to lean into as IT as a utility. I always equate it to back in the 1800s when every city had their own power plant, whether it was coal or whatever have you, hydro, whatever. And then, big corporations got together and said, hey, if we build this and we do it in volume, it's a utility, we can sell it a lot cheaper, it benefits the consumer, and it sends electricity to more cities. And it put all of the little smaller businesses and power plants out of business. So IT as a utility, moving from that CapEx model to that operational expenditure model, depending on how much you use, that's how much you get charged, versus I have a capital sunk cost. And usually IT decision makers are thinking software, hardware, services, contracts. But they always leave out all of the underlying components, whether it's power, security for the building, floor space, painting. There's so much that goes into a data center. So cloud is it's always there, it's always on, and it's pay as you go. Cloud moves fast. Traditional sales models and sales cycles, not applicable. The sales process and the technology changing and the feature capabilities that are coming online every day, it's hard to keep up. So you really have to pick your swim lane and pick your focus. What is your superpower? If you were to pull your shirt, and is it going to be an S for storage? Is it going to be an N for networking, an M for migrations? You really have to define who you are as a company and what do you have experience doing. And then if you've got questions about AWS or about cloud in general, go to Ingram Micro. They're your distributor of choice. Go talk to them. What are their cloud capabilities? What are their experience? What are their differentiators? And then where does your business fit into that? And how can they help you grow as well?